Good morning, children. Lesson Princess September is going on. In our previous session, we had discussed that Princess September has 8 daughters. How many daughters Princess September had? 8 plus 1 Princess September means 9 sisters were they. It means the royal couple, king and queen, had 9 daughters. They found it easy to name their daughters in the name of month because it was easy to remember the names. You can say the names of the daughters were January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. You know, the king had a peculiar habit of giving gifts instead of receiving them on his birthday. This habit is called peculiar because generally people receive gifts on their birthday, but the king gave the gifts once the king gave parrots to all his daughters, a parrot in a golden cage. Princess September's parrot died. She was very sad and began to weep. The a very little bird took its place. Now Princess became very happy. It means the a small bird brought the Princess September out of her gloom, out of her sadness. She was so happy, means Princess September was so happy that she allowed the bird to eat in her plate. She allowed her to bath in her saucers. So both of them became intimate friends. One thing is very important that you should remember. All the princesses or the sisters of Princess September had taught their parrots to say God save the king and Pretty Polly in various oriental languages. But on the other hand, Princess September little bird sang different songs. Once the king commented that the parrots sing the same thing in different languages, but Princess September's bird sang different song in different way. The king compared the song of the parrots like his counselor saying. He told that his counselors say the same thing in different ways. At this, his daughters were jealous to the bird of Princess September. They knew that if the bird is caged or prisoned in a cage, she would never sing songs like this. So they made a plan and taught Princess September to put the bird in a cage. Anyhow, Princess September was ready to put the bird in a cage, and the plan of her sisters was about to be completed. Dear children, today we have to discuss part 2 of this lesson. Here you can see Princess September loves the bird far too much to take chances and acts upon her sister's advice. The bird cannot overcome the loss of freedom. You know, the birds love their freedom. Princess September decides to put the bird's happiness above her own. See the explanation of these points. It seemed to Princess September that her little bird had been away a long time. You know, he had gone to meet his father's in-laws. He had gone to meet his father-in-law. So, Princess September thought that her little bird had been away a long time. Something might have happened to him. What with hawks? Hawks are hunter birds. They generally kill the birds in order to eat them. And with snares. Snares are traps for catching birds or animals. So two dangers were there, hawks and snares. You never knew what trouble he might get into. Besides, he might forget her. Or he might take a fancy to somebody else. Fancy means like to somebody else. Here you can see Princess September is thinking about four options. First, hawks, danger of hawks. Second, danger of snares. Third, the she thought that the little bird might had forgotten him. Or fourth is take a fancy to somebody else. That would be dreadful. She wished to he were safely back again. Suddenly September heard a tweet tweet just behind her ear, and she saw the little bird sitting on her shoulder. He had come in so quietly and alighted. Alighted means came down so softly that she had not heard him. I wondered what on earth had become of you, said the princess. I thought you would wonder that, said the little bird. The fact is, I very nearly did not come back tonight at all. My father in law was giving a party and they all wanted me to stay. But I thought you would be anxious. Under the circumstances, this was a very unfortunate remark for the little bird to make. September felt her heart go thump against her chest. Thump means beat fast. So you can say September felt her heart beat fast against her chest, and she made up her mind to take no more risks. She put up her hand and took hold of the bird. I think hold of the bird means she caught the bird. The bird suspected nothing. Because earlier I had told you both were intimate friends. So the bird suspected nothing and he was so surprised when she carried him over to the cage. Popped. Dear children, popped means pushed him in means in the cage and shut the door on him that for a moment he could think of nothing to say. But in a moment or two he hopped means jumped up to the ivory perch. What is ivory perch? Ivory is teeth of elephant. Generally, this ivory is used to make bangles for ladies. Or here the seat has been made of ivory in the golden cage. So ivory perched and said, "What is the joke? Be careful. The cage was made of gold. Perch was made of ivory. Ivory means elephant's teeth. There is no joke, said September, but some of Mama's cats are prowling. Prowling means moving about quietly about tonight, and I think you are much safer in there. Actually, Princess September wanted to give safety to her bird. Well, just for this once I don't mind, said the little bird, so long as you let me out in the morning. He ate a very good supper and then began to sing. But in the middle of his song, he stopped. I don't know what is the matter with me, he said, but I don't feel like singing tonight. Dear children, here you can notice that birds love freedom. The freedom of the bird has been snatched by Princess September. That is why bird is telling that he was unable to sing. He tried to sing, but he stopped in the middle of his song. Very well, said September. Go to sleep instead. So he put his head under his wing. See this action, feel this action. If you have seen sleeping of the birds, how do they sleep? They put their head in their wings. Yes. So he means the bird, put his head under his wing and in a minute was fast asleep. September went to sleep too, but when the dawn broke, she was awakened by the little bird. Means Princess September was awakened by the little bird calling her at the top of his voice. Wake up, he said. Open the door of this cage and let me out. I want to have a good fly while the dew is still on the ground. You know the dew, DEW? They are droplets of water in the night due to cold. They come on the ground and start to deposit on the grasses. They look very beautiful. So the bird is telling that he wants to see the dew on grasses. You are much better off where you are, said September. Let me out, said the little bird. Here the bird is crying for his freedom. And he tried to sleep through the bars of the cage. Dear children, be careful about the meaning of this sleep. SLIP. One sleep is SLEEP. But this sleep is different from that sleep. So he tried, means birds try to sleep, means come out through the bars of the cage. But of course could not, and he beat against the door. But of course he could not open it. Then the 8 princesses came in and looked at him. They told September she was very wise to take their advice. They said he would soon get used to. Get used to means habitual. The case, and in a few days would quite forget he had ever been free. The little bird said nothing at all while they were there, but as soon as they were gone, he began to cry again. Let me out, let me out. He started he to cry for his freedom from the cage. Don't be such an old silly. Silly means foolish, said September. I have put you in the cage because I am so fond of you, because I love you. I know what is good for you much better than you do yourself. Sing me a little song, and I will give you a piece of sugar. But the little bird stood in the corner of his cage, looking out at the blue sky and never sang a note. Here, note means song. Never sang a song. What is the good of sulking? Sulking means silent. What is the good of sulking or silent? Said September. Why don't you sing and forget your troubles? How can I sing? Answered the bird. I want to see the trees and the lake and the green rice growing in the fields. I will take you out every day, she said. It is not the same thing, said the little bird. The rice fields and the lake and the willow trees look quite different when you see them through the bars of a cage. Dear children, there is a big lesson for you. You know, nature is a great teacher. Have you heard Rabindranath Tagore? According to him, nature is everything for him. Perhaps you remember his lesson, The Last Bargain. The bargain took place with the laborer. The bargain took place with a little child who was playing at the seashore. So, here you can see the bird gets the idea of his song from the nature. That is why he wanted to go in lab of nature. He wanted to see the trees, the lake, the growing rice fields. So all the things are there. One example is there in my mind for you. Newton got his lesson in the life of nature. He saw an apple was falling from the tree. Before this, many people had seen this lesson, but Newton was a true student who learnt this lesson of gravity from nature. So be careful about such things. Next, the bird would not sing a song and he would not eat a thing. The princess was a little anxious at this and asked her sisters what they thought about it. You must be firm. Her sisters advised her that she should be hard. Firm means hard, they said. But if he would not eat, he will die. She answered, means Princess September answered. That would be very ungrateful of him. Ungrateful is thankless of him, they said. He must know that you are only thinking of his own good. If he is obstinate जिद्दी को कहते हैं, यदि वो जिद्दी बनता है and dies, it will serve him right. Then it will be right for him and you will be well rid of him. तुम्हें छुटकारा मिल जाएगा. September did not see how that was going to do her very much good. But they were 8 to 1 and all older than she. So she said nothing. Perhaps he will have got used to his cage by tomorrow. Her sisters advised her that her to Princess September that her bird would be habitual to live in the cage by tomorrow. And next day, when she awoke, she cried out, "Good morning," in a cheerful voice. She got no answer. She jumped out of bed and ran to the cage. She gave a startled cry, for there the little bird lay. At the bottom, on his side, with his eyes closed, and he looked as if he were dead. She opened the door and putting her hand in, lifted him out. She gave a sob of relief, for she felt that his little heart was beating still, means the bird was alive, not dead. Wake up, little bird, she said. She began to cry, and her tears fell on the little bird. He opened his eyes and saw that the bars of the cage were no longer around him. It means when the drop of tears fell on the bird, he became conscious and he saw that the bars of cage were not around him. It means he saw that he was free. I cannot sing unless I am free. And if I cannot sing, I die, he said. The princess gave a great sob. Then take your freedom, she said. I shut you in a golden cage because I loved you and wanted to have you all to myself, but I never knew it would kill you. I love you enough to let you be happy in your own way. She threw open the window and gently placed the little bird, on the sill. Sill is called the frame of window. He shook himself a little. Come and go as you will, little bird, she said. I will never put you in a cage anymore. I will come because I love you, little princess, said the bird, and I will sing you the loveliest songs I know. I shall go far away, but I shall always come back, and I shall never forget you. He gave himself another shake. Good gracious me, how stiff I am, he exclaimed. Then he opened his wings and flew right away into the blue. What is meaning of blue? In the sky. He flew into the sky. But the little princess burst into tears, for it is very difficult to put the happiness of someone you love before your own, and with her little bird far out of sight, she felt all of a sudden very lonely. When her sisters knew what had happened, they mocked her. They made fun of her. Means they were very happy and said that the little bird, would never return. But he did. But the bird returned at last, and he sat on September's shoulder and ate out of her hand and sang her the beautiful songs he had learned while he was flying up and down the fair places of the world. September kept her windows open day and night so that the little bird might come into her room whenever he felt inclined. Inclined means bent, and this was very good for her. So she grew extremely beautiful. Dear children, I think there is a reason. Princess September lived in the contact of nature. That is why she grew extremely beautiful. And when she was old enough, she married the king of Cambodia and was carried on a white elephant all the way to the city in which the king lived. But her sisters never slept with their windows open, so they grew extremely ugly as well as disagreeable. Disagreeable means unpleasant. And when the time came to marry them off, they were given away to the king's counselors with a pound of tea and a Siamese cat, Burmese cat. So, dear children, here you can see a lesson based on the fruitful effect of nature. The Princess September lived in contact of nature, so she became extremely beautiful. But her sisters lived with their windows closed. That is why they became ugly and disagreeable. So, this lesson gives you a message that nature is our great guru, great teacher, who the nature teaches the birds to sing. So, one thing is very important. Have you heard Shanti Niketan? Their students learn in the life of nature. Thank you, children. I think you will read this lesson again and again. Hope for the best. Thank you, children.